Good evening, I'm Katerina Georgieva. This is CBC Windsor News. Thanks for watching. We are on storm watch tonight and we'll bring you the latest. Plus, the province is being called out. The Ontario Autism Coalition says the government has failed on its funding promise to thousands of children. A local family is spreading cheer to folks in assisted living and their efforts inspiring others to join in. And some Ukrainians in Windsor are marking their first Christmas away from home. We'll check in with them tonight. And the storm that you've been hearing about all week might not dump all that much snow on Windsor, but it will still likely bring bad conditions. A winter storm warning is in effect, and experts are telling people to stay home. CBC's Jennifer LaGrassa joins us now live with more details. Jen, what's the latest?
Well, it looks like we won't be getting snowmageddon, but some of the key points that we're going to be seeing, blowing snow, ice, and freezing temperatures. This auto shop today was packed with people coming here, getting those winter tires put on. Their next available appointment here is not until next Friday. That's just one way that people are preparing for what's to come. So let's take a look at what we have likely happening. Right now, there's a little bit of rain, a slight drizzle happening. That's going to continue into the evening. At midnight is when things change, so that wind speed will pick up. Those wind speeds looking to gust up to 90 to 100 kilometers an hour. That's going to cause those temperatures to plummet and drop. This is going to create your icy roads and icy conditions. That wind could also lead to power outages across Ontario. And then into Friday, what we're seeing, Environment Canada saying that there could be up to 5 centimeters of snow for Windsor.
So it's not going to be a lot of snow, but the wind is going to be very strong. So it's going to be blowing that around, reducing visibility to very low at times. So the low visibility, strong winds on top of icy roads, a recipe for disaster for many people. So stay home if you can.
Now, there's also a flood watch that is in effect, and that's for Peely Island. So basically, those strong winds that you're seeing Friday and Saturday, they're going to create big waves with the water, waves up to 7 meters or 2 stories. That's going to create a lot of splashing and spraying. But then with that drop in temperature, it'll be icy, so it could really damage some structures.
Jen, what about travel? This is, of course, the holiday weekend. A lot of people are going to be trying to visit family and friends.
Well, if you're going up the 401, you're going to London or Toronto, let's say, that storm is basically moving that way. So Friday morning, that's going to be happening. So you'll essentially be driving with it. And basically, some areas do have blizzard warnings in effect. Some areas could see between 5 to 15 centimeters of snow. Again, the big thing here is the blowing snow, and it could create that reduced visibility. If you're crossing the border and you're going into Michigan, be aware that some of those areas as well do have blizzard warnings and storm warnings in effect. Weather experts are saying that they understand that it's the holidays and people want to travel, but that they need to be cautious as well.
Well, we're trying to protect people as well, and therefore you can maybe make it on the road where you're going tomorrow morning, but what's the best case scenario? You get there. With the worst case scenario, you have an accident or something worse. You know what? The probability of having an accident tomorrow is dramatically higher because of the weather conditions. Therefore, why take the risk?
Jen, how is the city of Windsor preparing for potentially really bad roads?
The city says that it's monitoring the forecast. It's ready to have those salt trucks and those snow plows coming out to the roads. But ahead of the holidays, they say that it's a little bit tricky with staffing.
It is challenging, especially this the holiday, people taking off. So it is challenging for our team. But we're very dedicated. We make sure that things are done and done safe. I think the storm is significantly lesser than what was predicted earlier. So, again, let's hope they're right. And for now, we're just going to mainly concentrate on the main routes.
And the city is going to take care of those main roads when there's about 5 centimeters of snow. They're not going to plow residential streets unless there's more than 10 centimeters of snow. And depending on where you're located, it could take between 12 to 36 hours to get to some parts. But again, that main priority is those main roads. And the city is also saying that for people experiencing homelessness, there's places for them to go. There's an overnight warming center at the downtown Mission that's going to have spots available for up to 30 people. Again, just some of the big takeaways is that we're going to be seeing those icy conditions. Temperatures are really going to drop minus 20s with the wind chill. So people are just saying, for people to be cautious, even and mindful, even with the holidays. Katerina.
Thanks for breaking it down, Jen. CBC's Jennifer LaGrassa live tonight. And we've got you covered all day tomorrow. Updates on Windsor Morning with Nav Nanwa and the team. And our website will have the latest on possible school closures as well. And we also want to see your videos and photos of what's going on out there. Flip us an email, windsor@cbc.ca. There's already a massive storm blanketing a large part of the United States.
Take this storm extremely seriously. And I don't know whether your bosses will let you, but if you all have travel plans, leave now.
Snow and high winds are making travel difficult in many states. An estimated 112 million Americans will be on the move over the holidays. Thousands of flights have already been canceled. U.S. forecasters say this Christmas could be the coldest in decades in some places. And as Canadians head into a stormy holiday weekend, snow, high winds, and icy temperatures are bearing down on much of the country. As Sarah Levitt reports, the weather is disrupting all kinds of plans just before Christmas.
They say there's no place like home for the holidays, if you can get there. This is what people in Wyoming and Nebraska have been dealing with, massive snowstorms with record-breaking wind chills. And part of that is making its way north to Ontario and Quebec. So it's going to be messy.
Messy is putting it lightly. Most areas are going to change over to just rain before a very strong cold front comes through later in the morning and throughout the rest of the day. Temperatures are going to drop drastically. There is going to be heavy snow, very strong wind gusts.
This is going to be probably one of our most challenging, tricky storms.
In the Toronto area, expect a nasty cocktail.
We're expecting the rain to turn over to freezing rain very quickly, and we're going to have to salt as quickly as we can.
Many schools in Ontario have already announced closures. In Ottawa, the NHL has postponed the Senators' Saturday game against the Red Wings. The forecast is creating some challenges even in areas that are used to big storms, like Quebec City.
We have to be ready for the worst, even though the worst might not be coming to us.
The particularity of this event is that as we're seeing it now, it's going to hit a lot of regions in Quebec, and it's going to hit across the whole province.
Even British Columbia is preparing for more of the white stuff after being walloped earlier this week. That deep freeze experienced through the prairies, though, is expected to lift, but not before another big storm there as well.
So many people are getting ready for family and Christmas vacations. A lot of people are going to be out. We just want people to remember that when you're driving, you need to drive to those conditions, and they might be very unpredictable.
Let's hope that doesn't hold up Santa Claus. Sarah Levitt, CBC News, Montreal.
For some folks, traveling home just isn't an option. That's true for the Ukrainians who have arrived in Windsor. Kostiantin Chernyaev just arrived here from Poland last week, and he's originally from Kyiv. Many of his family members are still in Ukraine.
The last few days, my parents spent with no electricity at all. And when you don't have electricity there, you don't have also water, because it pumps with electricity. And they don't have cold water, warm water, they don't have internet, they can't even charge their phones. And last week they spent 64 hours with no electricity at all. I used to spend my Christmas with my family, with a lot of people, with my wife's family. We always went to a Christmas market in the downtown of Kyiv. And now it's just three of us, me and my wife and our dog. But on Monday, we had a Christmas party here at the building, and people were also nice, and there was a lot of food and drinks, and everyone was so friendly. That was cool. I really like people here. Everyone is so friendly, so kind, and you know, people in Ukraine right now, as you can see, kind of depressed. That's a really hard situation. Everyone is kind here, and it's so peaceful. I just want to thank you, everyone, and Poland and Canada for the support of Ukrainians, and yeah.
In other news, the Ontario Autism Coalition is calling out the province tonight over what it says is a failed promise to provide funding to thousands of children by the end of fall. The commitment was part of the Progressive Conservatives' revamp of the Ontario Autism program. But a spokesperson for the Minister of Children, Community and Social Services says the province's target has actually been met. Talia Ricci has more.
The community as a whole, they're heartbroken.
Tony Stravato, father of twin boys with autism, says he's feeling deflated.
I wasn't surprised. This government has missed the mark time after time.
The province said it was working towards its commitment of providing 8,000 children with funding for core clinical services by the fall. That was the language used on their website and in press releases. A spokesperson for the ministry confirmed it met the target of enrolling 8,000 children and youth in core clinical services. But the Ontario Autism Coalition says that's different than actually receiving the funding.
Because once children are registered, they do an intake interview, and then they do a needs assessment or a needs determination interview. And I know that there are interviews scheduled all the way out into August. So those children aren't going to see any funding until as early as August. So to say that they've met their target is actually a bold-faced lie.
The province didn't respond to CBC News' question on how many families have been provided with core services funding. In a statement, a spokesperson for the ministry said, by December 31st, it will have issued transition invitations to every child and youth registered with the Ontario Autism Program, adding it's critical that families accept invitations as it continues to roll out its world-leading program to as many children as possible. Parents of children with autism say early intervention therapies dramatically improve their quality of life. They also cost tens of thousands of dollars.
Simple things that we take for granted, like just eating with a spoon, using the toilet. Communication is key, and without these therapies, it just can't be achieved. Like, parents are tired. We need the help. These are medically prescribed therapies. We shouldn't be on the streets begging for it.
I was told that he would probably be in diapers for the rest of his life. I was told the most horrific thing, which was he would never recognize me as his mother. None of that is true. I know that early intervention played a huge role in his life.
And that's why they say they'll keep fighting for better access to these services.
These are children, and they deserve the chance to learn the way they need to learn.
Talia Ricci, CBC News, Toronto.
The holiday season can be lonely for some. A Windsor woman wanted to make sure those without family got a little cheer. In 2020, she and her 6-year-old son decided to make holiday cards and give them out to people living in Victoria Manor.
It's awesome, you put a smile on somebody's face. A lot of people don't have family, or people come visit them there. So it's just a little something that, makes you feel a little bit better.
It's grown since then. Now the community in Mitchell's Park also makes cards, which she delivers to the assisted living facility. A welcomed holiday gift for residents.
Oh, they enjoy it immensely. A lot of I have 110 residents, and I would say over half don't have any family or have family that don't talk to them. So it really brightens their day whenever they receive these cards over the holidays.
She says residents miss having social time with others. Many don't leave the building. Before COVID, groups would come in to chat. If anyone is interested in doing that again, you can contact Victoria Manor directly. And if you're in need of a last-minute gift idea, look local. But these gifts, you don't even have to buy. A local artist is putting on an art hunt, scattering hundreds of pieces all over the city.
I'm just calling it simply Art Hunt, and taking what you see here, a lot of my older art, like some of it's up to 15 years old, and it's just been collecting dust in my place, and we've sold quite a bit of these small ones, and I think it's time to just move on, pass them on. And so we kind of gave them a new life, cleaned them up, fixed them up, signed them, and we're gonna go hide 250 pieces of art around the city. For 24 hours, we're gonna be posting on our Instagram stories the drop locations. Maybe not all of them, just to make it more random and fun, but at least half of them we're gonna be posting where they're hidden. And first come, first serve.
All right, here we go. This is the Artmobile. All right. There we go. Yeah, so like if you see, we kind of got left a little note, and it just pretty much says pay it forward. Like, this art's free, we're giving it to you as a gift and a thank you to the city. So why not try and figure out something that you could do?
I love that live look outside there. We're standing by for some tough conditions. Looks like that rain is already coming down. Delia Ashry will have the latest forecast for us right after the break. Stay with us. Dahlia Ashry joins us now as all eyes are on the weather forecast. Dahlia, it looks like it's not going to be quite as bad for Windsor in terms of that snowfall, but it's still not going to be good. So talk us through it.
That's right, Katerina. I mean, the weather might be delightful right now, but it will be frightful soon. It is going to be tomorrow. As for tonight, what can we expect at Windsor? A little bit of rain, a little bit of snow will start to mix in tonight, and then tomorrow a flash freeze is on the way. So that means some slippery conditions and lots of snow. So what does that essentially mean? Well, potentially and quite possibly a white Christmas Eve and even a white Christmas. The normal high usually this time of year is 0 degrees. Abnormal temperature today, above seasonal. 5 degrees today for the daytime high, but don't let that fool you because treacherous conditions are on the way. A low of -6 and today has been -1. It is currently 3 degrees in Windsor. Some rain, some drizzle has already started to kick in, and we're going to see that continuing overnight. There's a snowfall winter warning that is in effect for all of Ontario. And as you can see, it's quite drastic, and that will be carrying through Friday and Saturday as well. We'll be seeing winds gusting up to 80 kilometers an hour. So what does that mean? A snow squall is on the way and is expected for tomorrow. So that means a blizzard. It means lots of snow, lots of wind. So let's take a look here. What does this green and pink and purple all mean? Lots of green right there means lots of rain for tonight. Then you see a little bit of that pink. That is coming from south of the border. It means mixing in that rain and snow. And then by around 12 a.m. overnight tonight, we're going to start seeing the snow starting to peek through into Windsor. It'll get quite strong, quite heavy all of tomorrow on Friday. And then that will carry through into Saturday. A little bit of flurries mainly on Saturday and as we head into Sunday as well. So that's what we're talking about, that white Christmas Eve and potentially that white Christmas that most people want to look for. So Windsor is going to be seeing up to 10 centimeters of snow expected by Saturday and into Sunday as well. So that is something to also be careful with. Windsor will be seeing winds gusting up to 60, if even more, up to 80 kilometers an hour. So that could mean some power outages. So please, public safety advisory says, make sure you have a safety kit in hand and also some water on the side in case there's power outage. We see that temperatures will drop tonight. And then Christmas Eve, look at that, -7, 40% chance of flurries. A nice Christmas Eve to look forward to. And then the 5-day forecast is also on the way right here. White Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a little bit of flurries, a little bit of sunshine, and we see more sunshine as we head into Monday and Tuesday. Katerina?
Thanks so much for that, Dahlia, and hopefully everybody can be safe and
Absolutely.
as they join their family and friends, if they travel, if hopefully not too far away.
Exactly. If you don't need to, stay indoors. That's what we always say, and plan ahead.
That's what the experts are saying. Thanks for that, Dahlia.
Thank you.
When we come back, an advent calendar of the boozy variety. Josiah Sinanen will tell us about it right after the break. Stay with us.
free.
It's the third year of a Craft Heads tradition that has introduced the city to the likes of pizza beer, eggnog beer, and even shawarma beer. You did hear that correctly. The Downtown Windsor Brewery puts out an advent calendar with 24 unique brews just in time for the holiday season. So for more on this, Josiah Siddanen joins us.
Hello.
And Josiah, you visited the brewery for Afternoon Drive. Tell us about this calendar and how you discovered it.
Yeah, so Kat, I've discovered a lot in the city over my first year here, and this might be one of my favorites. It feels very Windsor. It's a local business pushing the envelope and partnering with the community to create something unique. So of course, for Windsorites, Craft Heads is a staple. It's been around for 8 years at University and Pallisher, and they brew everything just a bit further down the road on Pallisher as well, which you're looking at here. So I decided to head over and meet a brewer and see what their process was like for this calendar. So here we have brewer Jason Barasota and bartender Kevin Thieker. They let me try some of the creations and also shared a bit more about the process on Afternoon Drive. And for Jason, this is one of his favorite things. He's been brewing for a while, and he taught me about something called the German purity law, where you can only use barley, hops, and water in beer in order to be, quote, authentic. So he says there's a running joke at Craft Heads that they break that rule all the time.
Okay, so now I want to know what kinds of experiments they're up to this year.
Yeah, so people who purchased the Advent calendar this year got to try a sushi-flavored beer, and even an IPA that is black in color thanks to the use of cuttlefish ink. And the kicker was a tomato beer as well. So listeners of Afternoon Drive yesterday got to hear my reaction to the tomato and sushi beer.
Okay, so you actually got to try these items.
I did.
Tell me about it.
So the tomato beer, I was actually a really big fan of, and for many reasons. It's a blonde beer infused with Leamington tomatoes, and honestly, it was very refreshing. It had vegetal notes, and Jason suggested if you're enjoying it at home, you can rim the glass with a Caesar mix or add some Tabasco, and it's aptly called Pink Skies at Night, an homage to our Leamington neighbors, as you can see by the artwork there. And really cool, Kat, every beer had art designed by a local artist, Greg Maxwell, also known as the Ugly Vision. So I also did try that sushi beer.
That's the one I'm most curious about. Yeah.
Everyone's wondering about that one, and it was an experience. It was truly brewed with real tuna fish flakes, kelp, sesame, and soy, and the beer was rice-based. So there was a really strong smell that came off of it, but I would suggest you check out the clip from Afternoon Drive on the CBC Listen app to hear my reaction. And Kat, I did take home some cans too, so keep an eye on my Instagram. Maybe I'll crack one open over the holidays.
Sounds good. Thank you for all that, Josiah.
Thank you, Kat.
As we anticipate rough weather conditions over the next couple of days at Canada's biggest airport, they're getting ready for a hectic weekend.
We're still seeing some ripple effect here at Pearson from what the weather event that was in Vancouver. So we expect that could last through the weekend.
They advise air travelers to make sure that they have all that they need in their carry-on bags, items such as medication and diapers. And here's what we're looking at for Windsor, Essex. Wind gusts of 90 to 100 kilometers per hour, creating widespread blowing snow, which will reduce visibility to near zero at times. Snowfall amounts of 5 to 15 centimeters by Saturday morning, though we're hearing it'll likely be on the lower side of those amounts. But still, nasty conditions expected. Temperatures are expected to plummet on Friday morning. Wind chill values into the -20s, and these temperatures could lead to a potential flash freeze, so expect icy and slippery conditions. Rapidly falling temperatures will be accompanied by damaging winds, snow at times heavy, and widespread blowing snow. The snow should taper off to flurries on Saturday morning, but experts are warning if you don't need to travel, that you should stay home. And that is it for CBC Windsor News. For news anytime, go to our website at cbc.ca/Windsor. We'll be following the weather events over the next 48 hours, and all those updates will be on our website. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good night.